Hey guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space. So this past weekend, well, going into the weekend, I felt like I was going to be getting into a whole bunch of projects, building a bunch of French cleat tool holders. But when I got into the weekend, I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't get nearly as much of what I wanted to get done. Many of you may already know that I work as a registered nurse by trade, and I have my ACLS, BLS. We have to do that every 2 years, and so I've been reading up on that, just making sure I'm sharp for that. And then also actually was called in for jury duty today. Well, I actually didn't have to go in, but basically I was on that list, so I had to think about that. And so it's kind of like I knew about it maybe a few weeks ago, but since I knew on Monday I was going to be called, potentially called in for jury duty, just felt kind of distracted because I have other things that I need to do. I don't know if many of you are like myself. You work a 40-hour-a-week job, you have other things going on besides growing your woodworking skills, and then also a bunch of DIY projects that you have to get done. It has been challenging for me to kind of focus in the way that I would like to focus, and a lot of that is because I'm basically wearing a whole lot of hats. I mean, I started this YouTube journey a couple years ago, a bit over 2 years ago, and I finally got to my 1,000 subscribers after about just over maybe a month or so, over 2 years. I had my watch hours well before that. I was probably around close to 6,000 or 7,000 hours of watch time by the time I got my 1,000 subscribers. And one of the unique things about this particular channel is just with my personality, the type of person I am, I just didn't want to be one of the types of YouTubers that was, I guess, soliciting, whether it be subscribers or soliciting, different things like that. And so if you happen to go back, and if you have watched many of my videos, you will notice that I've never said to like, never said to subscribe. And I'm very grateful for those that have subscribed and those that have liked my videos. But I really wanted to see what happens naturally when someone does not try to, basically promote that, where basically I'm just being myself. I turn on the camera and I just do, make the best videos that I can at the level and stage that I'm at. I think putting on all these different hats, from before I started YouTube, I didn't really use a camera much. I would use we had a family camera that my wife primarily used, and when I started doing YouTube videos, I kind of took that camera, started using it. It was a Canon T6i, I think. I made a few videos with that, and so it just never really been a big camera, video, picture type person. And so I've had to take up that skill over the last couple years. Not great at it. That led to me actually purchasing 3 of the same types of camera. Right now I'm recording with a Canon, I think it's an A6600. I have 3 of those that I use in the shop, and that's how I get the multiple angles when I'm recording. I did that basically because I don't get any help when I'm doing these videos. I'm doing them all by myself. I'm actually recording all the shots. I am doing my own thumbnails, which, obviously I know none of these things are at the great or highest quality, but despite them not being at, some superior quality, I'm happy with how far I've grown, both in regards to the channel and then also in regards to my abilities, because I've come from being a person that has done nothing with videos 2 years ago to now making, I'm coming close to 300 videos. I have edited all my videos myself. Obviously they're not that great, but I've learned a great deal. Several years ago when I first considered actually doing YouTube, I was going to do a tech channel, and I purchased things like this Microsoft HoloLens, which is a holographic computer that, it's a wearable holographic computer that you could put on, and it still powers up. You can see how it looks there. But for the most part, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's about the equivalent to a 2015 smartphone at this point. I mean, I've done a video on it before, just a kind of light video talking about it a bit, but hindsight 2020, I have to be honest, I should have bought a Contoro. And reason being is, Festool makes this device. It's called a Festool Contoro, which is an edge banding device, which edge banding machines are very, very expensive, but Festool's made like a portable version that you could put on a table or use it, handheld, and it's I think currently it may be the most expensive festool tool, coming in at around $3,300 just for the base set. And then you could buy the configuration where you get all these accessories, which puts it up at about $3,600. And quite frankly, the reason why I say I should have bought a Conturo is because I could find this Microsoft HoloLens now on eBay for like $270. So that's like about, I want to say, 8% of what the device costs, if I have that math right. So basically I lost 92% of my money on the HoloLens, which cost about $3,500, and Microsoft has since abandoned this type of technology on the consumer side. So I feel confident that if I would have been a little bit more proactive, if I would have actually put videos out when I first bought it and really gone into it, that I possibly could have potentially built out a channel in that direction. However, that whole market has moved down a different pathway, and I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't go down that pathway, simply because I feel like where I'm at now, where I'm purchasing tools and learning how to use tools and learning how to do different tradesman-like type things, is just more beneficial to my family overall. If it were possible, which I happen to live in California and it's pretty highly regulated on a lot of things, but I think it would be very ideal to be able to buy like a piece of property and to tinker around, even something as extreme as trying to build your own house, or you start off small, right? Maybe build a shed, maybe pour out some concrete foundation, do all these different things, try to get your skills up so that you get an understanding. I learn best by hands-on, right? I've read a few books and that's fine, but actually practicing, having the tools in your hand, utilizing them, failing, messing things up, is an excellent way to acquire the skills, quite simply because, in my personal opinion, with inflation and the prices of things just kind of like skyrocketing, like I don't know who, if you're not rich, can actually afford to pay retail for everything. And so it's been extremely helpful for me over the past 10 plus years to keep 2 cars that combined to being about 30 years old, to keep those on the road and purchase the tools and the parts to maintain those. And I kind of feel like, part of this life is actually like owning a home or renting a home or whatever it is that you do, but being able to maintain that property, whether it be maintaining the yard, whether it be fixing drywall, fixing plumbing, fixing electrical, all of these things. A lot of these skills, some skills you do have to pay a professional, but there's a lot of them that are kind of low-hanging fruit, and that if you learn how to do it, you could save it. I mean, in my opinion, you could save yourself a ton of money. I've saved myself a lot of money by, picking up things here and there. I wouldn't consider myself to be the type of person that could sell those kind of services to another person, but that's not really that's not like my agenda, because I'm comfortable in the profession that I'm in. I feel like I do a decent job in that. And so it's not necessary that I generate income in this other way. But if you think about it, if you back up and you look at the bigger picture, the very fact that just as a community here on YouTube, I watch people unbox things all the time. I watch people express their experiences with different products, whether it be electronics, whether it be tools, whatever the case may be. And I take that insight and I use it to either decide that if I want something or if I don't want something. And so being a person that tries a lot of different things, I mean, I could have, as I said, I could have had a full tech channel at one point in time, because, I've built my own computers, I've done auto repairs, all these different things that I've done. I could have basically just build out a channel in those ways. And I think that's why I just call this channel Daddy Share Space, as opposed to calling it like a building channel or calling it a woodworking channel. I think that that's a bit limited for what I'm actually trying to share in this space. The name by itself, I'm simply sharing things that I'm doing. I'm just always trying to think about how I can learn more